Is Bank of Canada coming to save us? Now, there's been a number of different takes about this economy from different economists, and some economists are saying that Bank of Canada might be cutting rates soon. But we know one thing for certain is that no one has a crystal ball as to where the market is going. Is Bank of Canada really going to cut rates, or are they going to raise it? Are we in a recession? Is the market going to crash? Or what's going to happen to the home prices in the GTA? In this video, we're going to go over that and more, but first we're going to start off with the stats that was released by the Toronto Real Estate Board for the month of November. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Dilyar Murat. I'm a real estate broker here in the GTA, and I make educational real estate content. So if you like this video, please like and share, or if you're feeling super nice today, please hit that subscribe button. That would make my day. And with that said, let's get started. I want to start off by saying the real estate market here in the Greater Toronto Area is experiencing a terribly slow year. We're pretty much halfway into December now, and year to date, we've sold just shy of 65,000 homes in the entire GTA. To put things in perspective, last time we saw a number that low was 22 years ago. Now, I don't want you to confuse number of sales with home prices, because although the number of sales are down by a lot, home prices or average prices are actually doing okay. Now, if you look at this chart here, this is for the month of November, and the average prices and the listing on the days on the market and new listings, all that. This is for the entire GTA, and this includes everything from detached homes, semis, townhomes, condos, cottages, you name it. As always, I like to start off with the average price because that's the one thing that everybody wants to know. The average price of a home in the GTA for the month of November was $1,082,179. That's pretty much right in line with the same time last year. If you look at the number of sales, however, we are down 6% from the same time last year, which again, last year this time was a very slow market, and this is even a slower market. But new listings and active listings are both up. And because of that, the average days on the market, the time that's taking for an average house to sell, is also longer. But you see, this information here, all this you can easily access online, and you're not here for that. Because if you've been following me for the last few months or following the channel, you'll notice that the sales have been slowing down. We had a really slow fall, and we're going into a very slow winter. Inventory is rising, so there's nothing really new about that whole thing. But I'm going to point out a couple of things from this data which you might find helpful. So 4 months in a row now, or since August, average prices in the GTA have been pretty much flat. Now, this is a broad statement because you might be in a certain sub-market and prices have been dipping, and I've experienced that firsthand. But in some prices, in some asset classes, prices have actually been creeping up every so little. So they kind of level each other off, and that's where we're at right now. But it does have something to do with Bank of Canada not raising interest rates since July. So you can see the rates have been stabilized by the government. Another important thing to notice is that active listings. So currently, as of end of November, we had 16,759 active listings. And if you actually look at the month of October, the previous month, we had just shy of 20,000 active listings. So active listings for the first time in 6 months have actually been coming down from a month-over-month perspective. And then I heard some people say, well, maybe the buyers are back in the market and maybe it's picking up. Not so fast. So yes, if you actually look at it from a month-over-month perspective, we have now less homes for sale than we did a month ago. That's a fact. But that's not unusual. It's actually very seasonal and very simple. Every year around this time, around Christmas, new listings dip. New listings dip because sellers are thinking about Christmas, holidays, vacation, and not about selling their houses. This is why you see a steep drop in new listings around this time. Also, you will see a lot of sellers who had their houses up on the market. They didn't get the offers they wanted, or just no offers at all. They will probably take their houses off the market and relist come springtime. But with that said, it's all relative. You see, buyers are also on the same boat. So there are also a lot less buyers looking to buy this time of the year for the same reasons: holidays, Christmas, vacations, you name it. Which brings us to our next very important point: interest rates. Now, some of you may have already seen this on the news or read an article about it, but I believe Bank of Canada will cut rates in 2024. And I believe they'll be just a little bit more aggressive than we're anticipating. In the last few weeks, Canadian bond yields have been falling. Now, for those of you who know this, great. For those of you who don't, I don't want to bore you with all the boring details about bond yields, but basically, the 5-year Canadian bond yield is directly correlated to the fixed rate mortgages here in Canada. So if bond yields fall, fixed rates on mortgages will also fall. And there are a number of different economists from different banks giving their opinions and predictions for the economy for 2024 and the real estate market and inflation, etc. And some of them are predicting the rate cuts to happen as early as April of 2024, which we're pretty much 4 months away, or September 2024 at the latest. Now, Benjamin Tal, the chief economist for CIBC, came out and said that Bank of Canada will actually cut rates probably by 1.5% in 2024, which is quite a bit. Now, keep in mind, all these are just predictions and only that. The interest rates are determined by Bank of Canada, and Tiff Macklem is the one, and the board is really going to be the one that determines when and how much the rates are going to get cut. But there are other factors that they'll look at before making such a decision, and I'm going to go over a few of those. First thing first is our inflation numbers are in, and we're actually beating inflation somehow. So our inflation numbers are coming down, and some economists are saying that if you actually exclude shelter, right? Shelter being the mortgage interest and the rent. If you actually exclude shelter from the inflation calculator, you're looking at a 1.9% inflation, which is below what Bank of Canada is targeting, which was 2%. Now, don't shoot the messenger. I know it's crazy expensive to live out there. Living costs are high, eating out is high, food bills are high. I get that. I have a family to feed as well. All I'm saying is we are actually making progress when it comes to inflation, and numbers show that. You see, the third quarter numbers came out for the GDP and we're actually in the negatives. Now, the second quarter GDP came out a while back and initially came out in the negatives as well, but then they quickly revised the numbers and said, oh, we made a mistake. Actually, it's in the positive. So if you look at the true definition of a recession, it's 2 negative GDP quarters in a row, 2 consecutive quarters. And looking at these numbers, we're pretty much in a recession. Now, here in Canada, we just experienced the highest population growth rate ever, adding 1 million people to our economy, and our economy is still not performing. Job cuts are happening right now. Banks are laying off people, accounting firms are laying off people. I heard Cineplex is laying off people. As just like what we talked about earlier, putting food on the table is becoming harder and harder. So I'm gonna go out of a limb and say that we're definitely in a recession right now. Now, we may not be in a hard recession, but it's definitely a recession of some sort because people are feeling it. Unemployment rate going up is actually not good news. If the economy is not performing well, that means businesses will lay off more people, and it's not good news by any means, but for interest rates, that might be good news. So my final thoughts on this whole thing. What do I think is gonna happen to the home values in the GTA? You see, I want to start off by saying the interest rates will definitely have an effect on real estate. I'm sure you know that, everyone knows that at this point. Real estate is an asset class that's most sensitive to interest rates. Now, with that said, it's not everything. So in my opinion, in order for the real estate prices and activity to recover, people need to feel like the market has stabilized. They have to feel like the market is stabilized because they're making a massive purchase, like buying a home. So yes, I definitely think the interest rate cuts will definitely have an impact. It will boost buyer confidence. It will boost the activity in the market, absolutely. But home prices, do I expect home price to see a massive jump or spike as soon as we see rate cuts? I don't know if it's gonna happen so quick. You see, because unemployment is the next big elephant in the room. You see, in the last year and a half, we had an interest rate problem, right? The rates were too high for these prices. People couldn't afford these homes with the qualifying or the stress test. But now the rates might be coming down and you might be able to afford these payments, but you may not have a job. Now that's not gonna be the case for everyone. I don't wanna make it seem like it's way worse than it actually is. It's not like people are getting laid off left and right, but the big banks, the accounting firms, I'm hearing Cineplex is laying off people, I'm hearing some tech earlier this year, Shopify, etc., have laid off people. So if you actually look, when interest rates go up, consumer spending goes down, right? So the number of the money circulating in the economy goes down with that. Now that results, if you kind of fast track it, that results in lower revenue for businesses because people are spending less money. So when revenue goes down, the bottom line profit goes down. So businesses, they're not here to go out of business. So what do is they start cutting their losses. And that comes in at a cost of people losing their jobs. Now, how bad will it be? I don't know. And to be quite frank with you, this is not a financial advice. This is just my opinion. You know, I'm just some guy who likes to read about this, and I'm very passionate about real estate. But economists get this wrong a lot. You know, they give you one prediction and then halfway into the year, they give you something else. So I'm only just telling you what I've heard and what I think might happen. But again, it's not a financial advice, it's just strictly my opinion. As we always say, time will tell. So if you like this video, please share, subscribe, like, comment your thoughts, your opinions. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.